Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Radwan Sandasi, and I'm the co-founder CEO of WeFundMatch. WeFundMatch is the first P2P lending platform in Africa, and we're basically trying to make ethical lending accessible in Africa. And my presentation is going to cut across these 7 main lines. Just an overview of WeFundMatch, the problems that we're trying to solve, the solutions that we have. We look at the market size of lending in sub-Saharan Africa, to be precise, and for the purpose of this presentation, look into our revenue model and traction and the team. Okay, so WeFundMatch is based in Lagos, Nigeria, and it's a technological-driven platform that provides funding and investment opportunities to SMEs and investors who are ethically inclined. And of course, we're going to be using Sharia-compliant principles to structure our transactions. Now, what are the problems we're trying to solve? In Africa, ethical lending and investments is a big problem for some reasons. One is bureaucratic processes of accessing funding. We have quite a number of traditional non-lending financial institutions, especially in Nigeria, like Taj Bank, Jaiz Bank, Alternative Finance, which is the Sterling Bank, and even the Central Bank of Nigeria. They are also, giving huge support to Islamic finance in Nigeria. However, we have come to realize that in accessing funding from some of these traditional non-interest financial institutions, there are some bureaucratic processes that these SMEs have to go through, and eventually they don't get this funding. So that's the first problem we're trying to solve. And the second is for investors, right, in Africa especially, because of the influx of conventional financial solutions within the African financial market, the returns on investment opportunities that are Sharia compliant are less attractive, to this type of investors. And then the thought is, yes, we have some, non-interest funding platforms that are, doing something similar to what WeFundMatch does, but they are a bit unstructured and unregulated. So we are looking at how we can be regulated by, government authorities, and of course to have a structured and well-balanced platform. And then the fourth is the huge funding gap for African SMEs. According to the World Bank, there is $328 billion dollars funding gap for SMEs in sub-Saharan Africa, and we are basically trying to target just about 5% of this. And then the fifth is fragmented credit scoring. Credit scoring is a big challenge when it comes to assessing the credit worthiness of SMEs, right? And which of course is one of the reasons some of the traditional financial institutions do not lend to the SMEs. So these are the problems that we're trying to solve at WeFundMatch. Now, what are the solutions? Our solutions are geared towards meeting the needs of 2 key drivers of the market, because obviously in the financial market, you need people that would drop your funds, which is the investors. Of course, you also need people that would make good use of the funds, the SMEs. And for the ethical investors, they are dissatisfied with less competitive returns, and we are basically going to provide them with the right range of investment opportunities, right, with competitive returns in diverse sectors, right? Unlike the traditional financial institutions, it's quite easy to access our Sharia compliant investment products. And then for the SMEs that we are going to be onboarding, they are dissatisfied with unscrupulous lending behavior of most of the commercial banks here in Africa. And WeFundMatch is going to provide a broad range of ethical investors who understand the principles of Islamic finance and justice and lending. Right, and of course, unlike the traditional Islamic financial institutions that we have here in Nigeria, our process is going to be fast and hassle-free. I'll get there shortly, inshallah. Now, what are the unique value proposition that we are going to be communicating to our stakeholders? One is no paperwork. I mean, that's why it's technologically driven. So we're not going to be asking the SMEs and neither the investors to drop any paperwork for us to review the application. Everything is going to be done on our platform. And then the third is the fast loan application process, which is going to take a maximum of 3 business working days. And then the fourth is we're going to be using credit scoring algorithm. I mean, we have a CITO here who is going to be talking more about that. So we'll use the set of predetermined parameters to be able to score these SME businesses. And don't forget, I mentioned that the bureaucratic processes that the traditional Islamic financial institutions have put in their loan lending process is one of the reasons these SMEs don't get funding. So if the SMEs can actually get a message from us, either an approval or a decline message within 3 business working days using our algorithm scoring. I mean, that gives us, that unique advantage. And then the fourth is the real-time monitoring for the users, because again, most of the times when you invest with some of the financial institutions here, you don't get, reports on your investment, but ours is going to be different. Right on your user dashboard as an investor, you're going to be seeing your investments real time and transparent and full disclosure system, which is basically, the backbone of Islamic finance. Now, how does this system work? So the first step is basically for us to submit requests, which is something that we're already doing. We have an array of business owners, sustainable businesses within our own platform. So we submit requests to onboard these SMEs, right, looking for funding with a set of criteria. And SMEs complete funding application on the business dashboard on WeFundMatch platform. And then using our credit scoring algorithm, the SMEs would, be scored as they are inputting their information real time, and they get their scores, right? So on the basis of, or on the back of the scores that they get, WeFundMatch credit analysis team will carry out a control check to be sure that the information that the SMEs are provided are valid, right? And then they send either an approval or decline message to them within 3 business working days. And then WeFundMatch marketing team notifies the investors that we have in our network of the funding opportunities, and then they also complete the lending application on their dashboard, and funds is loaded on the user wallets. So this is just an overview of how the platform is going to work. Now, what's the market size? Why are we going into this market? I mean, as we know, in Africa, there's a huge, funding gap for SMEs, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, where, Nigeria is located. According to the World Bank, there's 328 billion, total funding gap of SMEs in sub-Saharan Africa. And SMEs actually, represents the backbone of the economy. I mean, out of the total GDP of Nigeria, which is the 31st largest economy in the world, SMEs represent about 60% of the total businesses. And we need SMEs to grow because they are the real sectors that will contribute immensely to development of Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Our WeFundMatch is basically trying to target just about 5% of the TMA of this market, which is about $16.4 billion. Now, for the purpose of this presentation, we are asking for a total of $100,000 fundraising, which would, cover 40% of our technology, 30% of operations, 20% of marketing, and 10% of recruitment. So a breakdown of how we're going to use this funds is given on this slide. So for the technological aspect, which is, the backbone of our platform, 12-month cloud infrastructure would cost us about $9,000, and 12-month salary for our in-house developers, front-end, back-end, and the CTO, which going to cost us about $24,000, and outsourcing of building primary application, because we wouldn't want to, burden our in-house developers with so much work, because they're just going to be 3: the front-end, back-end, and the CTO. So we need to outsource, the building of primary application, to some other developers, and that's going to cost us about $5,000, and that's just an initial setup cost. And then we have the UI, UX, and business analyst, which take about $30,000. So a total of $40,000 would be allocated to technology. And then operations, which is what we are going to be using on our platform itself, the wallet infrastructure, because the investors who are going to be, giving out the funds to the business owners need to load their wallet, right? So the infrastructure is going to cost us about $10,000, as you can see, and then we also need to obtain a license, right, to be able to operate a P2P lending platform in Nigeria, and that's going to cost us about $5,000. And then we need to also have an arrangement with one of the commercial banks in Nigeria, which already has an infrastructure to onboard tech firms or tech-based companies in Nigeria, and that's going to cost us about $15,000. Or we get an MFB license, which is microfinance back license, which is something that is a bit off our radar at the moment. So we are just looking at setting up an arrangement with one of the commercial banks, because this is something that is easy for us to do. And then for recruitment, we have $10,000, and marketing $10,000. Okay, so what's our business model, right? For the businesses that we're going to onboard, that we're going to be raising funds for, we charge a flat fee per funds that we raise, and we are looking at charging them about 5% for every dollar that we raise. And then we also charge the investors a percentage, like on the gross return, so like a shared moderate profit on the gross ROI. And then for maintaining the platform, we'll also charge the investors an annual maintenance fee. So this is a business model that would help us to generate a projected revenue of $100,000 in first 12 to 18 months of our operations. So now what's our traction record? Hi, as the founder, this is something that I'm already doing, right? So I have onboarded one SME and I've been able to raise $13,500, for this SME within the first 6 months of operations. And again, our projection for the next 12 to 18 months is to raise or to onboard 10 SMEs on our platform and raise a total of $300,000 for these SMEs. So the team, this is me talking, the founder and the CEO. I have experience in investment analysis, in banking, in credit analysis, in financial analysis and training, and most recently, I also advise ethically inclined investors on halal investment opportunities, both within Africa and outside, the African continent. And then we have our CTO, Mr. Mansour Olaniro, who has global experience in developing IT solutions to different clients, across the Middle East, especially in Bahrain, in Saudi Arabia, and India. So he has that global experience in developing tech solutions. And then we have Abib Benley, who is also one of our co-founders. He's going to be the CIO. And he's also going to double as our chief credit officer. So he has experience working with an international company that gets businesses ready for funding, the Lofty Inc. Partners. And then we're also going to have two in-house developers, Hamza Abdul Fattah, who's going to work as a senior front-end developer, and Aziz Olayinka, who's also going to work as a back-end developer. And then, of course, for what we're going to be doing, we need to ensure that our structuring process is Sharia compliant. We'll have the person of Malam Abdulgani Juma, who's also going to serve as our Sharia advisor in ensuring that our structuring processes and our products are 100% Sharia compliant. So this is going to be the end of my presentation. Thank you.